This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let's start. Let me just log off all these things so that there is no confusion. Okay, so we were in the process of setting up the source system, posting some transactions in the source system so that these source system transactions can be used during our initial load. Okay, so we already configured AR, AP, we already posted some AR transactions, AP transactions, GL transaction, even asset accounting transaction. And from the integration point of view, we posted the document from the MM point of view, but we just need to post one single document on SD side. So what we will do is, we will start from there. We will try to carry out our cycle for SD to FI integration. Okay, so for that, we already set up the SD enterprise structure. What we need now is we need to create a sales order, we need to do the delivery, and finally we need to do the billing. So yesterday, I think the customer that we created was not working fine because it was not allowing us to enter sales related information. So what I'll do is quickly, I'll just create my new account group instead of using the standard one that we used yesterday. I will quickly create a new account group which we will use for our customers. So I'm going to accounting in AR and AP to create the new customer account group. Within customer accounts, master data, preparation for creating the customer master data, and here you'll be able to see define the create the number ranges, assign the number ranges here, define the account groups with screen layout for customers, which is ECC, so no need to worry about this configuration as of now. In S4HANA, there are few changes when it comes to the BP grouping, but that is in the target system we will see. So now this is my source system. I am creating a new account group here. Let's say this is my account group CF or CFIN itself. Okay, and just press enter. Let's try to save it. I'm not changing any configuration, which means it should show me all the fields related to general data, all the fields related to company code data, and all the fields related to sales data also. So using this account group, I will try to create a customer now. But before that, I need to assign the number range also. So I will go to assign the number range to the customer master data. I will go with CFIN and I will assign the number range 01. I hope 01 is already available. Let's verify that also, otherwise that will give another error. So intervals, yes, we have the number range. I think this is itself what we created yesterday. So now using this customer account group, I will go to transaction XT01. Okay, in the account group, I will select CFIN and customer number will come automatically because we use the number range 01, which is internal number range. Our company code was CF01. Sales area again was CF01. Distribution channel CF and division also CF. Okay, let's try to enter, specify the data, whatever you want to provide. So this is my test customer for CF01. Country, I can keep it India itself. Okay, because anyways our company code, currency and country is also India. And then let me go to the company code data. In company code data, we already created the reconciliation account yesterday. I will assign this. Let's go to the sales area data. Yes, yesterday we were not able to see this information. Okay, so whatever is mandatory here, I'll just enter the mandatory information, like I'll go to the shipping. Let's go to the billing documents. These are the important fields without which system will not allow you to create your customer master data. Okay, and partner functions. Now the problem is because we have created the new account group, we also need to extend the partner functions. Otherwise, system will not allow us to carry out the delivery billing because it requires the shipping bill to ship to party, bill to party, sold to party, those partner functions are required. So there is one more configuration in short that we have to perform in order to bring those things here. So let me go to SPRO, and in the sales and distribution, there is a partner function configuration. I think that must be in basic functions. If you are not able to find, let's do Control F and partner function. Assign partner functions in sales and distribution. Let's see if this is correct. No, this is something different. Just give me a minute. Otherwise, if we are not able to find that, we have to use any standard, partner determination. We found it. Set up the partner determination. So set up the partner determination for customer master data. So in our case, we want to go with account groups to function assignment. Okay, you can see here there are different partner functions which are assigned to account group. So we created the account group just now, which we need to assign to our partner functions. So I will go for sold to party, okay, and assign my account group, which is CFIN. Enter. Same way, I will go for bill to party. These are some of the important partner functions that should be assigned. Okay, so CP is not required. AWEC is not relevant to us. Let's go to bill to party. So I will copy this and I will assign CFIN. Again, if you come down, there will be payer also. This is payer. So I will copy this also and provide my account group, which is CFIN. And then I think the last one, SB is not required, SO is not required, SR is also not required. This shipping one is relevant. So CFIN. Okay, I think it is done. Let's see if there is anything else. WP, XC, all these are not required. Okay. So now this 4 partner functions will come automatically whenever we create a customer master data. So let me just come out and go to this transaction once again. Okay, so our customer group is CFIN. Let's try to press enter. This is our company. This is our test customer for CFIN, CF01, IN. Let's go to company code data. In the company code data, I need to provide the reconciliation account, and in the sales area data, I need to provide the billing documents 0, 0, which means no tax, and partner functions maybe will come automatically. Let's try to save it. So customer has been created. Let's go to XD03 and see. This is created. Partner functions, it is still not showing, but we will see if there is any problem. We will try to assign it. Let's try to assign it otherwise. So the partner function we created is bill to party, we created as ship to party, we created as payer, and last one was shipping, right? Ship to party. Number would be same, which is this one. Yes. Okay, so now this is available, which means it will not create any problem while the billing cycle. So now our customer is ready, and even we created the material yesterday, and I hope that material was also extended to our sales views. Okay, let's just verify. The material that we created yesterday was CF01-test. Okay, I'm just verifying if it is already available in the sales area related tabs or not. So our plant is NY, sales org is CF01, and distribution channel is CF. Okay, so it is already available. So our material is created, our customer is created. We are ready to go for creation of sales order. So we'll go to transaction VA01. There will be one error related to pricing because we have not determined the pricing, but we will see that error and accordingly we will make those configurations. So order type OR, sales organization, distribution channel, division is fine. Let's press enter. System is asking you what is a sold to party. So we already copied it. This is our customer that we created. Purchase order number, you can just provide some reference here. PO date, let's keep it as today's date itself. So 30th/07/2020. Some of the important fields, if you want to provide like payment terms, I'm saying payment terms are due immediately. Okay, and then I'll come to the material part. So CFIN dash test. How much quantity? Let's say the customer is ordering 5 quantity. Okay, let's go to the plant. Plant is going to be NY. Okay, and the amount, let's keep it as 1000. Just
This
press
PG,
enter and see. Yeah.
Vikram, but you didn't, did you set up, what's that, VKOA,
No, that errors
okay,
will come. We will solve.
oh, okay.
We will solve this. Yeah. You will be able to know where exactly. So as I
Okay,
told you, pricing procedure is missing. Right. So this is the first error. We will simply go and we need to maintain the combination of CF01, CF. So this is nothing but sales area, sales organization, distribution channel, division, and A. So we will quickly go and we will maintain this configuration. So pricing procedure determination, this one. Okay, and what we will do is just copy the standard one, or maybe let's create a new one. So CF01 is our sales org, CF is our distribution channel, CF is our division. And then what was A? Is it the customer pricing procedure, or let's try to find it out. It is just showing A. So maybe I will try to assign this one as A, or maybe I'll keep it blank so system will pick automatically. Procedure, and then my pricing I want is a standard one, which is RVA A01. RVA slow. RVA A01. This is the standard delivered pricing procedure, and condition type PR00. This is my main pricing condition. Okay, so now system will be able to determine the pricing procedure also. Let's come out, close this, and try to press enter once again. If it is still showing the same thing, let's just go to VA01 once again, enter. This is my customer, sorry. This is my customer. Oh, it is still showing the same thing. Let's see what is wrong. So it is asking for A. I think A is still not pro. A and blank, you can see. So let's create one more pricing procedure determination, CF01. Copy this. So A and blank. So this is going to be A, and try to save it. Okay, let's try now. Go back, close this, enter. Yes, solved. Okay, so payment term, I will enter the payment term here, which is 0001, which is due immediately. Material is CFIN dash test, sorry, CF01 dash test, and order quantity I'm keeping at 5. Plant is NY, and the amount is, let's say, 1000. Okay, so pricing is okay, everything looks fine. Let's try to save this order. There are some important information which we have not maintained, and that is the reason system is giving that this document is incomplete. If you want to complete this document, click on edit. Okay, so it is asking these are the important fields which are not maintained. So Incoterms I need to maintain, complete the data. So Incoterms, you can just select CFR, which is cost and freight will be paid by won by whom and all those things. Okay, so this is fine. You just need to provide some description here. Okay, click on this one to go to the next error. Next error is related to shipping point is not determined. So there is one more configuration which you need to maintain. Okay, so let me show you which is that configuration related to shipping point. So if you go to SPRO in logistics execution, okay, in logistics execution, you'll be able to see shipping point, shipping. And here you need to specify basic shipping functions, shipping point and good receiving point determination. Okay, and here what you need to enter is you need to go to assign shipping points. Okay, you have to see which combination is missing here. Accordingly, you will enter that. So shipping point we created was CF01. If I press enter, see it is giving me this error. Shipping condition blank, loading group 0001, plant NY, storage location not defined. So what we need to do is shipping condition is blank and loading group is 0001. So you can see shipping condition, loading group, plant. So let's click on new entries. Shipping condition is blank, loading group is 0001, plant is NY in our case, and we want to determine the shipping point as CF01. Right, just verify if it is correct or not. So 0001 NY and fine. So let's try to click on this. Sorry, let's try to save this. Okay, so if you come to the sales order now, it will not give any error. This is fine. Click on this. Now our sales order is complete. Let's try to save it. Okay, so sales order has been created. So as you know, at this moment, there is no accounting impact. But once we do the delivery of this particular sales order, then system will generate the accounting document. Just verify one thing in the sales order itself, whether this material has been confirmed or not. If it is not confirmed, it will not allow you to do the delivery. So if you go to schedule lines, you can see confirmed quantity 5. On which date? On 30th of July 2020. Which means now if I want to deliver this material, we normally use transaction VL01N for the delivery. Okay, and here you need to specify the order number. Our shipping point is CF01. Press enter. Okay, just make sure that this date is same as the confirmation date in your sales order. If you try something below this, then system will tell you that there is nothing to be delivered to the customer. Okay, so once you are in this screen, you need to go to picking. You need to pick how much quantity you want to deliver. So I'm delivering complete quantity. Okay, 5 is the delivery quantity and I'm delivering everything. And then you need to click on this PGI button. This PGI will generate the accounting document, but as we know, at this moment, system doesn't know the GL accounts. Which two GL accounts will come into the picture here? Stock account will be credited. System already knows the stock account because we provided BSX, right? But system doesn't know COGS account. COGS account would be debited at this stage, right? So for COGS, system will try to see in GBB, right? And that will give error. Let's try. So click on PGI. You can see account determination for entry CF01 GBB is not possible. Okay, so we need to go to OBYC. First of all, we need to create a COGS account. COGS account is what? Profit and loss account. So new 4002, and this is going to be my profit and loss account. Profit and loss COGS. In control data, I need to make sure no, nothing is important here. You can just maybe click on line item display if you want. And here this is nothing but G004, or maybe you can go for material consumption, that is G003. Okay, let's try to save it. So this GL account 4002, I need to assign in OBYC under GPP. So OBYC, let's go to GBB for CF01, and I'm keeping it simple again. I don't want to maintain all these configurations. I'm just saying 4002, which means whenever GBP will come into the picture, system will go for COGS account. Right, so this is also done now, which means if I try to do this PGI once again, there is another error, which is maintain tolerance limit. This is SD related error. Sorry, this is SD-FI integration related error. So let's click on this, and it is saying define the tolerance limits. Let's go from here itself. We need to maintain VP. Okay, so we just see whatever VP is available and just copy it and make sure that it is assigned to our company code. Okay, that's it. Close it and try to PGI. It is giving the same thing, so maybe just come out, VL01N, enter, go to picking, enter the picking quantity and click on PGI. Okay, so our delivery document has been created, which means system must have created the accounting document also. So if you want to see the status of the sales order, you can go to VA03, this order, and you can see the entire document flow. So it will tell you that the sales order was created, then the delivery was performed, then the picking request was created, and finally PGI has been done. And in this PGI level, if you go to display document, it will show you the accounting impact. So let's go to accounting document. See, this is exactly what has been taken place. I'm not sure why it is amount is too much. Maybe are we doing the transaction in USD or something? We posted only 1000, but it is taking this much. But anyways, I think this is the order was in USD. That is the reason it is converting to the INR. Let's try and see in our document in VA03. So what is the currency here? It is INR only. Then why it is taking so much amount? Okay, anyways, we don't need to worry about that at this stage. Only what we need to understand is, because we are not here for.
I think it's taking 1000 only, but those
No,
it's a decimal thing.
35 something. Let me just. Okay, let's see one time. Otherwise, we will not work much on this. Otherwise, we will deviate our topic.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, so it is. Why it is showing cost 335. Okay. It is actually the cost. See, it is a delivery. So when you are doing the delivery, it is not about how much revenue you are earning. It is about how much cost has been incurred.
So your cost is more than the revenue. That's all. Okay.
Exactly. This material we purchased at this price, and 5 quantity means this much amount. That is the reason it is.
It is picking up from your standard. Is it you have taken moving average for this or standard?
Moving average.
Okay, that price it has picked up. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now the next process is, once the delivery document is created, then comes the billing. Again, in billing, system will ask you the revenue GL account, and that revenue GL account comes from VKOA. So let's try to enter. It will open the invoice. Okay, and if you want to create this invoice, you have to click on the save button. Okay, so invoice has been created. Okay, maybe it is giving this problem, but if you go to the billing document, you will not be able to see the accounting impact of this. If you click on accounting, it will tell you there is no accounting document. This is very common error which we get when you are working on the support projects, that there are a lot of invoices, there are a lot of billings which are created, but there is no corresponding accounting document created. Okay, so what we normally do is we click on the change mode, we try to release it, and system shows us what exactly is the problem with the billing. Okay, again it will give you the same thing. So what we should do is, normally we go to environment, account determination analysis for the revenue account. It tells us what is wrong here. So you can see system is not able to find any GL account. Why? Because simple, we are not maintained this GL account in VKOA. So let's quickly do that. So our SD cycle will be completed. So as VKOA, and what we need to maintain is, again, I'll keep it simple. So let's go to the general one itself. Let's copy this and we will change it according to our requirement. Our chart of account is CF01 itself. Our sales organization is also CF01, and we need to provide the revenue account here, which we have still not created. So quickly I will go and create a revenue GL account. So we have a lot of GL accounts now, which can be seen while moving from our source system to the target system. Okay, so this is going to be profit and loss. This is also going to be profit and loss. This is going to be revenue. Control data, I'm just taking on line item display, and for revenue, normally it's G029. Okay, is our field status group. Obviously, if you want to move this revenue to your profit center accounting also, then you need to create the edit cost element. Let's do that also. So edit cost element, and this would be my cost element. Okay, I am skipping this because otherwise, even in the material that we created, we have to provide the profit center. It will not allow us to go ahead. So I'm skipping this step. I'm just creating this as a GL account. So GL account has been created. Let's go to VKOA and then provide this GL account. Okay, done. Let's try to save it. So now if I tell the system to generate the accounting document, okay, so if I release this and try to save it, it is saying something related to foreign trade data, but let's see whether the accounting has been created or not. Accounting document is also not yet created. Okay, let's see why. So account determination analysis, revenue account. GL account is already determined. There is no problem from VKO anymore because you can see GL account is clearly determined 3000, but there is something wrong with foreign data. Maybe someone has activated foreign trade data here. That is the reason it is throwing error. The billing document you edited contains foreign trade data. There are however not complete. This means that the document cannot be maintain the incomplete, then you can transfer the billing document. Okay, let's go and see what foreign data it is asking for. Global trade management. There is nothing foreign trade data. Foreign trade. Okay, here.
Is it in the material master?
Don't know. Let's see. Commodity code. Let's try to save now. It is still saying incomplete. What data is incomplete? So this is fine. This is, let's do this also. There are no values now. Someone has made this mandatory. That is the reason it is asking. Normally, if the foreign trade accounting is not active, it doesn't ask you these things. So country in our case is IN. No, it is not took till now.
Vikram, when we created the customer, did we create it in US? What is the shipping? What was that? Shipping
Let's
code.
try. Yeah, let's see. I think when we created a customer, it was IN itself. Just now we created the customer, right?
Yeah, that's what it.
Yeah, now I think it is showing here. So maybe let's see if it allows us to enter. No.
But it's still showing the system error or something.
Yeah. Okay, maybe anyways, I will check this offline, otherwise it will take some time. So only thing is we just want to create this billing document, and this billing document should be transferred to our target system. So from the source system point of view, what are the different scenarios we configured? If you want any additional scenarios to be included, just let me know so that we can configure that. And now we will proceed to our target system setup. Before we go to the target system, let's think about a project. Okay, so you are at this current stage where you already have a source system, you already know which company code you want to include from the source system, and you want to replicate the data in real time, and also you want to do the initial load of that particular system. So before you go and configure anything in the target system, we have to be ready with what exactly we want to do in this project. Okay, so I'll quickly write what we have done. So we have created a GL document, AP document, AR, MMFI, even SDFI, at least from the delivery point of view, we created, and then AA document. So these are the scenarios which we will see how exactly they are moving to the target system. So now think about the project. You got a project, you are working as a central finance consultant. Your customer has shown you this system. This is the ECC system. I have few documents on GL, AP, AR, asset accounting. There are some documents which are integrated from MM and SD. And now I want to implement central finance, right? So the first thing that you will ask your customer is, what is the version, which source version customer is using. Again, it may not be only single version, there will be multiple versions. So for each and every source system, the strategy would be different, right? If your source system is ECC 6.0 and above, then only few notes needs to be applied. If it is SAP system but very old version, in that case, there may be some additional effort required in addition to implementing those SAP nodes. If it is non-SAP system, then definitely there will be interfacing required. There is a need to generate the file which will reside in our staging table, and from staging table you will carry it forward. Right? So based upon the source system. Now let's assume we are only responsible. See, that is also practically possible. When you are working on the project, it is not only you, a single person is working on the entire project. It may also happen because these are big systems. So it is possible that one consultant will work only on one source system. Okay, this is practically possible. There are some projects which are working in this way. So you are responsible only for this source system. For other source system, there is separate team who is working on that. So let's assume in this particular case, you are responsible for this particular system to be replicated in real time to the target system. Now, based on the data that you have created here in your ECC system, you need to finalize how this data would be mapped to my target system. Okay, so first of all, do you think that based on what is the source system, the target architecture would be defined, or based on the target architecture, source values will be mapped? What do you think? If I have 10 different source systems, obviously each source system is going to be different. And it is not practically possible to design my target system keeping in mind my 10 source systems. So ultimately, if a customer is implementing SAP S/4HANA Central Finance, he will not think about mapping my old systems. Based on my old systems, I should map my target system. It would be other way around. Customer has to decide what functionalities he wants to see in the target system. So for example, even if I don't have new GL accounting active in my source system, that doesn't mean that, okay, in target system also I have to map according to what is my functionality available in source system. That is not the case at all. Your target system will decide what needs to be done with the source data, right? So if you are a customer, just think in this way. If you are a customer, you got a S/4HANA, which is a very powerful product. Definitely, you will think in the direction that what functionalities I want to activate in my target system. And then the question will come, okay, now if I want all these things to be available in my target system, how will I fetch these values from all the source systems? Right? So what I mean to say here is the target system setup is something based on your strategy. It is not based on what I have in my source system. Otherwise, if you just want to replicate whatever is available in the source system, same functionalities, everything same. So apart from the consolidation, you will not be able to realize the benefits whatever are available in S/4HANA. Right? And that is the reason when you are setting up the target system, the blueprint must be in place. As I told you, actually speaking, setting up the central finance system itself is a kind of new greenfield implementation project where you need to understand what are the activities that you are going to configure. You need to understand what are the features that you are going to activate. Only after that, you will start setting up the target system. And it may also
And
be possible. Sorry.
no, and also, so basically, it's a rationalization of chart of accounts and other things, right? Because
Exactly.
there are 20 different systems. There's a project going on. There's a bigger effort going on to rationalize all these things.
Exactly. Yes. So it should not happen that, okay, in my source system, if I have 500 GL accounts, I will create same GL accounts in my target system also. And for another source system, there are additional 200 accounts. So I'm creating those 200 accounts, total making as 700. That will not make your life easy. It will even make it more difficult, right? Because this is practically in one of our customer, this customer was using three SAP source systems. And I'm just giving you example. In this three source systems, he was already using COPA reporting. Okay, and each source system has different COPA dimensions. You know the dimensions, right? Like what are the different characteristics in which you want to see the report. So he was implementing this central finance, and he said that in my COPA reporting, I have 40 characteristics in my first system, 30 characteristics in my second system. I'm just giving you example, 20 characteristics in my third system. But the problem is in S4HANA, I cannot create this many number of characteristics. It is restricted to the fixed values. So what is the solution here? The solution is, why are you thinking in the reverse direction? You don't need to think in the reverse direction that I have this COPA characteristics in my source system, so I want to replicate here. Instead of that, have you decided what is important for you in the target system? Which characteristics you want to see in the target system? Then we will see what is available in source and not. Are you getting it? So do you think in the target system you will be able to, your requirement is to see 80 characteristics? Definitely not. Your life will become even difficult if you include 80 characteristics in your COPA reporting. So instead, you need to find out what is important to you. You finalize the list of characteristics that you want to see. It may happen that the characteristics which are available in your source system, you don't want to replicate at all. Or it may also happen that same characteristics with different names are created in all three source systems. You just want to map them into the one target characteristic.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't consider central finance as a database. It's not a. It don't. It's more than it's a future system of record basically.
Exactly. Yes. Why we are implementing central finance is we want to make our life simple. We want to see the global reporting. We want to see the consolidated reporting. We want to use the new features which are provided by SAP S/4HANA. But if you are just looking at it is kind of a BW tool which will fetch the data from all the different systems, and then everything we'll be able to see in the kind of like you don't want to see in the consolidated way, you want to see separately for each and every company code, then that is not a purpose of central finance. Central finance, when you are implementing, you have to be strategic. You have to think what functionalities are provided by S/4HANA and how many of those can be implemented in my system. Okay, so if you think in that way, then only your central finance project would be successful. Otherwise, it would be just garbage in, garbage out. If you are bringing all the garbage data from your source systems, again here you have to perform a lot of activities in the month end, then there is no point. Okay, so just think in that direction. That is exactly what I wanted to convey to you. So it is not necessary that if I have 500 GL accounts in one system, another 500 GL accounts in second system, another 500 GL accounts in third system, and I'm bringing all those GL accounts into my central finance, then what is the point? It will still remain independent. All your company codes will be still independent. You will not be able to generate group reporting, consolidated reporting in the straightforward way. I'm not saying it is not possible. Even if you bring 500 GLs, you have to do some activities and you will be able to get the consolidated report. But the question is, why do we need to bring all those garbage data? It will unnecessarily increase your database size. It will unnecessarily increase your period end activities. It will also unnecessarily increase the steps required to generate the group reporting. Right? So you are a consultant, you are working on the central finance project, customer has told you, this is my ECC system, I have this kind of different transactions in this system. Now, can you suggest me how should we go further? So what you need to do is, you need to first ask the customer, in central finance, these are the features which are delivered by SAP. Maybe you will create the PPTs, maybe you can use the PPT that we used on day one, right? Which clearly tells what are the benefits if a customer goes for S/4HANA. But obviously, if a customer asks you in detail, then you have to maybe involve someone who is good at group reporting or someone who is good at COGS. It is not necessary that the central finance consultant will know everything. If you already working in finance, if you already know the group reporting, completely fine. But if you don't know, definitely you have to involve someone who can explain those technical topics to the customer. And if a customer wants, then as a central finance consultant, it is our responsibility to map those things so that the data is flowing from the source to the central finance system. Okay, so in short, before you start configuring your target system, you should completely forget what is in the source system. In the target system, it should be your strategic system, which is based on the customer's requirement that they want to start using from today. Forget about what was there in ECC. First, you set up your target system completely, then you decide, now how am I going to move the data from my source system to my target system?
A quick question, Vikram.
Yeah.
So, just hypothetically speaking, what you just spoke is like leading practice and the most, it's ideal to design the target system completely agnostically from the other one source. It should be like a new greenfield implementation kind of a thing.
Right.
But I'm saying that suppose, but just hypothetically speaking, can we have a lift and shift right now, say in the short term when you're doing it, and and suppose this could this be a client requirement is my question. A lift and shift, and then maybe a year down the line or 2 years down the line, final design. Will that work?
Possible, but that is not recommended. If you are just
Correct.
taking it from here and putting it there, then again that is garbage in, garbage out. So there
Absolutely.
is a lot of activities. As you said, maybe another 1 year customer wants to use it as it is, but after 1 year it will involve even more activities, even more effort in order
Right.
to clean that central finance system. So when you are starting fresh, it is obviously recommended that your central finance system, because you are getting the opportunity to implement a completely independent system. So whatever
Yes.
issues you are facing now, till now, whatever garbage was there in your current system now, you are getting this opportunity to clean everything and start fresh. So if you just copy and paste, that will unnecessarily make it even more complex.
Got you.
Okay. So now coming to the target system setup. So based upon what have you decided, what activities you want to activate, you don't need to worry about whether how many ledgers are active in my source system. If your requirement is that in my target system, I want to see IFRS reports separately. If you are not using COPA in your source system, but you decided that I want to use account-based COPA and SAP S/4HANA. So those activities you need to set up. And then we will think about maybe some of the things are standard. I'm not saying everything is practically possible. There are restrictions in central finance also. So once we decided that this is what we want to see in our central finance system, then the question will come now how to map the values. So some of the mappings are pre-delivered by SAP. You just plug and play. You just go to those configurations and say, okay, whenever this data is coming, it is mapped to this activity. It will automatically come. But sometimes for the advanced scenarios, there may be the requirement of some custom also. So the way SAP has provided the standard mappings may not work. You may need to adjust it according to your own requirements. So in that case, custom code may come into the picture. And most probably, whatever I heard till now, even in our project, there was minimum custom requirement. But in most of the US projects I heard, they are normally done the mapping is normally done using the custom tables. Okay, so standard tables are fine, but if the complex scenarios are there, you may need to create those mappings using the custom tables also. So for example, let me give the example. SAP says in the standard template, you provide your source system GL with attach it with the target system GL. But if my requirement is not that simple, if my requirement is if this is a condition, then this GL account should be mapped to this GL account. If the condition is different, then this GL account should be mapped to this GL account. So in that particular case, your standard mapping will not work. Then you need to bring some ABAP coding, you need to play with whatever is delivered by SAP, and you need to create our own logics. Okay, so definitely in central finance projects also, you may need, for the mappings also, you may need the technical help. Okay, but that is based on the requirement of the customer. If the requirement is very straightforward, the mappings can be done, then we don't need a web at that level. Okay, but we will see what are the restrictions also. We will have a separate session on that. What is not possible in central finance, due to which you may need the custom code.
Vikram, I apologize. I lost for 45 seconds to you. When you start giving the specific example for in US, when we need a custom table, can you repeat it if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure, Farooq. So what I told is, in SAP, standard SAP system, SAP has provided the mapping tables, which means your GL account, your cost center, your internal orders, your whatever company code, they can be mapped to the corresponding objects in the target system. But let's assume whatever has been provided by SAP is not enough, which is common, right? In many cases, whatever is provided by SAP, we need to play with it. We need to change it according to our requirements. So if that is the case in case of mapping also, then it has to be handled via the custom tables where you will need the technical help. So if there are example I gave is, let's say SAP says that, okay, if this GL account in this source system is assigned to this GL account in the target system, if it is very straightforward, then you can map very easily. But if a customer says there is a condition, if this condition is true, then only this GL account will be mapped to this target system, this target GL. If this condition is not true, then I have the separate behavior. So in that case, you need to play with the standard bodies which are provided by SAP. You need a technical help, which means ABAP has to come into the picture. Got it, Farooq?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So in short, I will now close ECC system. Okay, if you want additional scenarios, you think about it. If you want, you just tell me, I will set up those additional scenarios also in the source system, and then while initial load, we will replicate those. So now I'm going to my SAP S/4HANA system, and I need to set up this system based on my strategic requirements. Okay, so let me enter the password and then let's start the configuration. Okay, so I'm starting from scratch. So let's assume this now, that this central finance system is being configured like a completely greenfield implementation project. In ECC, whatever we have done, we have configured the company code and all, that is just for our understanding purpose. In the real-time project, that company is already operational from years, right? We don't need to do that activity in the ECC system. In the ECC system, the data is already there from years. We just replicate it so that we should be able to see the scenario. But when it comes to the setting up in the central finance system, this is something which is required in each and every project. Only there is an exception in case of mergers and acquisitions. Let me take this example. So if you are implementing central finance for the first time, okay, let's take this simple example. So you have a ECC system, you have a non-SAP system, and you are doing this central finance implementation for the first time. Okay, in that case, definitely you need to set up this system from scratch. But what if this structure is already in place. 1 year back, you already implemented central finance. So your ECC system and non-SAP system are already replicating the data to the central finance system. Now you acquired a third company. You acquired a company who is using R3, for example. So these two systems are already active. They are already implemented. They are sending the data in the real time to the central finance. Now you acquired a third company. Now you want this setup to be done so that even the data from R3 should be transferred to the central finance. So in this case, will it be considered in the central finance? Will it be considered as a greenfield implementation project or not?
No.
So what kind of project it would be in the central finance?
It's just like adding a new entity basically or system. That's
Exactly. So what is that called? Adding the new entity, adding the new plant. What is that terminology?
Brownfield.
So brownfield is different.
Enhancing it.
No, just if you want to add a new company code, if you want to add a new plant, yeah, but
are
there
you
is a
extending
terminology.
it? Oh, okay.
Very commonly.
Landscape transformation.
No. Landscape. All these things are landscape transformation. All these. They are using LT server SLT. So they are all landscape transformation. Rollout. Very commonly we use, right? Rollouts. What is rollout?
Yes, rollout.
Whenever we add any new plant rollout, company rollout, we do those rollouts. So central finance system is already active. There are already some company codes which are operational in this. We are just adding a new company code or we are just adding a new plant that is called as a rollout. So in that case, in central finance, instead of starting from scratch, you will just do the rollout. Clear? So if you are doing for the first time, this is a greenfield implementation project. But when you are adding a new company that you acquired from outside or maybe within the same group, in phase 1 you implemented this two, and now in phase 2 you have separate company codes, so this will be considered as a rollout project. Okay, so now let's think in this way. We are implementing a completely new central finance system, or maybe you can consider we are doing the rollout, because from the company code point of view it is going to be same. So even here also you can see there are already a lot of company codes created, so you can think in new implementation way or rollout way, that is completely up to you. Also, as I told you, it may happen that the setting up of central finance system is being done by the completely separate team who are working on this implementation project. So they are setting up the SAP S/4HANA system for you. So as I told you, central finance project requires many, again, it totally depends upon how many systems you have in parallel, how many source systems you have. But it may happen that the responsibility is divided. So one person is responsible for setting up the central finance system. Second person is responsible for transferring the data from one source system to the central finance. Third person is responsible for another source system. So that is possible. But we are assuming that we are a single consultant and there is only one scope in one source system in place. And that is the reason we are configuring the central finance system on our own. So let's go to IMG now, and we have to start setting up the company code first of all. So I'll go to definition, financial accounting, company code. Now again and again, we discussed that it may not be possible to keep the company code as it is. Okay, so for example, if I go here and see if CF01 is already there or not, luckily it is not there. But what if I already used CF01? Then I cannot provide the same company code to my source system. And that is the reason I may need to create a separate company code here, and I need to map those company codes to each other. Okay, so let me create I'm just showing you to create another company code, because if it is straightforward, if it is 1:1, then you don't need to worry at all. But in our case, let's assume CF01 was already used, and that is the reason we are not left with any option, but we have to create CF03, and we have to assign this CF03 to CF01 in the source system. Okay, so I'm just keeping it complicated so that you can understand that this problems can come in the real-time project. So city, I have to keep same because this is just a replica of that source system. So city is going to be same. Country, because we have wrongly entered. So whatever we entered there, we have to enter it here. Otherwise, it will be completely mismatched. Right, let's try to save it. Okay, and let's try to. Okay, now we created a company code. Before I go into additional details, maybe you are interested in seeing how the mappings works in central finance. So all other mappings we will see in detail later on. But just now, because we already know our company code CF01 should be assigned with CF03. So just to make the session a little bit interesting rather than just setting up the target system, let's talk about the mapping now. How exactly, where exactly my CF01 would be assigned to CF03 in the mappings. Okay, so for that, you have to go to SPRO, IMG, and then you have to go to financial accounting. You already know there is a folder called as central finance, and this settings, mapping settings, we do in the target system. So this is our target system. S4HANA is our target system. That is the reason we are able to see these two nodes. If it is ECC, the central finance folder will not appear. You have to directly go to transaction CFIN IMG. Okay, so in the target system, you will be able to see the mapping folder. Now, if you remember, previously we discussed that there are three kinds of mappings. Do you remember what are the three kinds of mappings?
Value mapping, key mapping, and master data, right?
Cost
Exactly.
object.
Right,
Cost object,
perfect.
cost
Value
object,
mapping, key mapping, and cost object mapping.
cost
These are
object.
the three types of mappings. Okay, if you are planning for this certification, these are the type of questions which are asked, and I will provide you the other questions also. So if you are planning to write the exam, the right time would be just after completion of this batch within a week. Okay, 100% you will be fresh in your mind, and not only the theoretical stuff, but you have also seen the practical stuff till that time. So you'll be able to answer it very confidently. Okay, so mappings, you can see key mapping, you can see value mapping, and then you can see cost object mapping. These are the three kinds of mappings that we are talking about. There are other mappings, but these are optional. COPA mapping, if you want to include COPA also in your target system. Okay, so what is key and what is value? We have seen this. Key is nothing but your master data. Okay, if you go to key mapping, you'll be able to see what are the different objects like activity types, cost centers, cost elements, customer. I don't know why purchasing organization they included here, because I think even we are not replicating the purchasing org as a enterprise structure, because anyways we are not replicating the data. So this is considered as the master data from the point of view of in our accounting documents, purchasing organization field would be there. That is the reason they included here. But otherwise, if you see general ledger, material, even plant, we want to replicate same as purchase org, profit center, vendor. So most of the things are related to master data.
Even material is also right. So we are only bringing the financial accounting data, right? The material is not relevant.
No. See, even if you see the document posted in the materials management, the FI document has a material field also. Even if you go to table AC doc A, you'll be able to see the material field. So if you want to bring that material field, then only it is relevant.
No, I agree with that. But it's more like keeping the master data kind of a thing. It's just like it's not impacting anything. It's just there. It's just like
exactly. Yes, it is not to replicate any purchasing or sales related data. It is just to bring that additional field in your financial document itself. Okay, so these are the master data objects which can be mapped in the key mapping. So key mapping, just remember, key mapping is the master data mapping, and value mapping is the configurations, configurable objects like company code, like you can see the list, business area. So if you go to general information, accounting principle, document type, posting keys, ledger groups, tax procedures. These are all the configurable objects. So value mapping is a configuration object. Why they segregated this key mapping and value mapping? Value mapping is something which must be done by the consultant. Okay, your end user will not come here and map the company code to company code. But what if a new customer is added? What if a new GL account is added? Do you want the new GL to come into the picture? Normally not, right? GL is day-to-day activity. Every month there may be 5-6 GL accounts which should be added. If not GL account, cost centers, activity types, these are very common master data which can be created on day-to-day basis, customers, vendors. So for that, the user should not come to you as a consultant, right? User should be able to do it on his own. And that is the reason in this key mapping, SAP has provided a very user-friendly screen, which is, if you click on this, it is a user-friendly screen which will take you to Fiori itself, which will take you maybe instead of Fiori, we call it as a BRF plus application. I'll talk about that. What is BRF plus application?
Oh,
But in short, it can be managed. Sorry.
So this one is going through IMG, but it's not a true IMG activity. This one, right? It does not require any transport or anything, right?
It doesn't require the transport. You are right.
No, wait a second. Why would this require a transport? This is master data, right?
No, I
Exactly.
understand, but it's on the IMG side of it, so that's why I was making sure.
Then see, the reason it is from the IMG side, it is what we are using in the target system. It is basically the first time activity that you have to perform. So before you go live, it is consultant's responsibility to map whatever existing values are available. That is the reason they have included in the IMG. But going forward, this would be used by the user, and user can directly map the settings on his own.
And value mapping is the IMG object required in the transport or no?
Exactly. Value mapping is an IMG object because that has to be done by the consultant. Yes. Okay. So in our case, we want to see the company code. Where exactly the company code will come, whether it will come in the key or it will come into the value.
Value.
It will come in the value mapping because that is the configuration object. Right. And that is the reason you'll be able to see the value mapping here. Let me open this. Okay. You can see these are the different objects. It is providing the technical names here. So to understand, maybe we need to go into F4 and see. So for example, you can see BLART is nothing but your document number. Sorry, document type. Then you have, if you come down, you can see BUKRS. This is nothing but our company code. Then you have BUPLA. What is that? BUPLA. It is a business place. Same way business area. I think this is business area. Let's see. BUSAP. No, this is accounting clerk. So in short, these are the list of configuration objects. Now, it is not necessary that everything is relevant to you. You have to identify what is relevant to me. Okay, and based on that only you need to map. This is very important activity. Whenever you are implementing the central finance project, you have to download this entire list and you have to clearly mention which is relevant to you, which is not relevant to you. Okay, because otherwise, if you feel that, okay, this is not relevant to me and you don't map it, and if you say clear data, then this data will not move to the target system. So it has to be agreed with the customer that this is relevant, this is not relevant. It has to be very clearly agreed with the customer so that there is no confusion on that. And whatever has been agreed that yes, this needs to be activated, it is customer's responsibility to provide you the mapping, source system versus target system. So which value from the source system will be assigned with which value in the target system, that is customer's responsibility to provide you. SAP has provided the templates. You can share those templates with the end users. They need to fill that template, and as a consultant, you can upload directly. You don't need to create any separate programs. SAP has already provided those programs which can be used to upload the data. I will show you. So as of now, our thing is we want to see how company code is assigned. My target company code is assigned to the source company code. So you can see this view KRS. This is nothing but our company code. So if I double click on this, okay, it is taking me to the technicalities of it. Sorry, this is view PLA. I want to go for view KRS. So it will take me to the technical details of this object. Okay, but if I want to maintain the values, then what I need to do is, let's go to maintain value mappings, and then let me select, you can see this view KRS, and you need to click on this button, display mapping relationships. Okay, just click on this and it will take you to the mappings. You can see this is based on the source system. You have to be very clear because you can have multiple source systems here. In our case, there is only one source system, which is EPX client 800, which is nothing but our ECC system. Okay, if you see this, this is exactly the client EPX client. When you log in, it will be say 800, right? That is exactly what is mapped here. So I'll select this and I want to do the mappings for this client, because mappings can be different for different clients. So you have to first select your source system, then you have to go to define value mappings here. You can see here the values are mapped. So these are my internal company codes assigned to the external company codes. What is internal? Is source or target? Currently in which system we are? Where exactly we are maintaining this config?
Target system.
Target.
In the target system. So for target system, this is internal or external? This is internal for the target, right?
Internal.
In short,
Yes.
this is target and this is source. So in our case, if I want to change this, if I want to add my new company code, so our internal company code is what? Target company code?
CF03.
CF03. And my external is CF01, which I want to take
CF01.
from the client 800, right? You can see this is how to maintain the config. Okay, now system knows that whenever I want to replicate the values of CF01, in which company code it should be replicated. Same way, I have to map GL accounts, I have to map cost centers. So some of the objects are the configuration objects, some of the objects are the master data objects. And
So
in
Vikram,
order
we're gonna come back to understand these flags that we have, that outbound definition, number of mapping, that kind of a thing.
sorry, can you come again?
So you wanna come back again later time to explain other flags? You see all the way on the right hand side. You see a two
Yes.
flags
As of
here.
now,
Inbound.
as of now, we are not that much done that we can understand this. But as of now, I just wanted to give the overview.
That's fine. Okay, thank you.
We will definitely come to this and we'll discuss in detail. Yeah, only thing what I wanted to show you, this is how you can maintain manually. What we have done is manually we came here and we maintained one value, but practically you think about in this way, you have multiple source systems, multiple company codes in one source, and this company code is very straightforward, but think about the other objects. Each and every system has 60 document types. So instead of doing all these things manually, SAP has provided one very good object which is called as FINS. I think it is CFIN underscore map underscore manage. Okay, this is a transaction code which is provided by SAP, which is for managing the mappings. Okay, so mapping entity, you can see these are the different entities which can be mapped. So accounting principle, document type, planning profile, posting key, company code. Let's take example of a company code. And for which source system? So let's say my source system is this one. Okay, and you can say generate the template. So system will generate a template for you. You can tell the system where exactly you want to generate this template. So I'll say generate the template on, let me go with the file name. So in the desktop, or maybe in the, yeah, okay, desktop is fine. And I want to generate the file with test1.csv. is a file where I want to see the template which is pre-delivered by SAP. Okay, so template has been generated, which means if I go to my desktop now, I should be able to see the new file, test1. You can see this. If you double click this, it is comma separated value. So if you want to convert it into the columns, then what we do normally is text to column, right? Text to column, and this would be delimited with semicolon. Okay, so there are only two fields. There are only two columns that you can see. Source company code mapped to which target company code. Okay, so here you need to specify all your source company codes. Here you need to specify all your target company codes. Let's try to do this thing. Let's try to execute this. So what I'll do is I will go to the same mapping and I will delete the mapping that we have just now entered.
Why are you
So
doing that?
no, I want to show you how to upload. So just
Oh,
now we have
multiple company codes, is it?
yeah. In our case, I'm just showing you one, but yes, you can upload multiples also.
Okay.
So here you will go to Bookers and you will click on this here and define the value mapping. So this is what we have defined. Let me delete this from here so that I want it to be done using the program. Okay, now data was saved, which means now if I enter these values in my test1 file, so my source company code is CF01 and my target company code is CF03. Right, I'll save this file as a CSV file, or maybe instead of what I'll do is, let me just not change the structure of the file. So I'm saying don't save, and I will go back to my desktop. Okay, I don't want to change the structure of the file. So in the same format, I will provide the data. So CF01 semicolon CF03 because it is separated with the CF semicolon. Okay, let's try to save it. Yes, close it, save. Yes. Okay, now what I'll do is in the same mapping program, there is upload mapping. One is generate the template, second is upload the mapping. So I'll go to the upload mapping program and I will tell the system to upload the file from test1.csv. Let's try to do the test run first. Execute, allow. Okay, you can see one row is being uploaded, everything is green. So I can just remove the test run and perform the actual run. Oh, it is locked, yes, because I'm already in this config. Okay, let's try once again. Okay, so one row has been uploaded. Source company code to target company code. So if I go to this configuration once again, okay, and you go to this one, you can see CF03 is assigned to CF01. Right, so you can use this program. Just remember this program. It is already in my PPT, no need to by heart. But yes, this is a program which would be very helpful whenever you want to upload multiple things. Also,
What's the program?
this program is FINS underscore CFIN underscore map underscore manage. So it is mapping
Map. Okay.
for CFIN.
And you have it in your PPT, right? I don't have to take it down separately.
Yes, yes, yes. No need to write all these things.
Okay.
All the programs, all the tables that we are discussing, those are very well mentioned in the PPT. I will share the PPT itself today itself because I was working on it yesterday, but I will send it to you today itself, whatever we have done till now.
No problem.
Okay. So, yeah, I was telling you just the practical example, what we have done in our project, because the problem is here, you can see you have to provide one by one mapping entity and you have to provide one by one source system. So which may not be, again, it may be very time consuming to enter these details one by one. So we have asked our team to create a program where in the file itself, we can provide the mapping entity, and in the file itself, we can provide the source system. And we can upload multiple mapping entities, multiple source systems in a single file itself. Right? That is very straightforward. You can just ask your developer to copy this program and provide you the file. Instead of asking these questions here itself, this should be written in the file itself.
Basically, it's just to add a couple of more column mapping entity and the source system, and then should work.
Exactly.
But the
yes.
program needs to be updated too. This program, right?
Yes,
This,
yes. That has to be the copy of this program.
Got it. Because upload program has to be updated as well.
Right. See, there are a lot of other things also. So generate and upload we have seen. If you want to display the mappings, what are already in the system, you can see it also shows you the display. Okay, if you want to download the mappings in your Excel file, and then you want to change and you want to upload it once again, even you can download it. So it will download to the same file. I'm not sure. Maybe we should have changed it. Yeah, I think it is have been downloaded. Okay, so I think it worked. Let's go to the file and see. Yeah, you can see this has been downloaded from the system.
Okay.
Right, when it is downloaded, it is according to the source system also. Yes.
So, Vikram, I have a question. So we said that we will do the mapping first and then the config, is it?
No.
I mean,
We have to do the config first. How can you do the
config
mapping
first, right?
without
That's
config?
what I was correct. I thought, okay. So you just map the company. So technically, you will. I mean, practically, you will finish all the config and then do the company code
Yes.
mapping and everything, right? Here you just showed us an example. Like you did it
Yes.
simultaneously. The mapping you did simultaneously along with the config, more or less. But you will first finish off all the config and then go to the mapping exercise.
He's just giving the flavor to us because we were getting
got
bored
you.
with all that configuration.
Got you. That's
See,
fine.
when the
Makes
objects are
sense.
written, it is very easy to understand. So that is the reason I just created a company code. If you complete all the configurations, then there are a lot of objects to see, and it creates a confusion. If you get the idea of one object, then you will understand, okay, everything works like this only.
Got you. So the same thing. So it's basically table to table mapping. It is what's happening.
No. It is not table to table. It is value to value.
Okay. So company code to company code. Now, in the case of internal order mapping, of course, that will be part of key mapping, not value mapping, right?
No.
That will be a key
Internal
mapping.
order will come here in cost object mapping.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
All your
Key
orders,
is master.
production
Key
orders,
is master data. Okay.
right.
So key is master data, all master data which are non-cost object related master data.
All those master data which are not order related. When it comes to cost object mapping, it only takes care of the internal orders.
Okay,
Internal
only
order.
internal order and production order, huh?
Yes.
Not cost center, profit center is part of the key value mapping only.
Exactly. If you see cost centers,
Interesting.
you'll be able to see it itself. There is a reason. I'll tell you why. Because this cost center, profit center, these are long living objects.
Right.
But when it comes to internal orders, they are very short term.
So so to be clear, WBS, IOs, POs, I mean POs as in production orders, as cost objects, and even sales orders in some cases, if we are using sales order controlling, and if it's not a cost object, then those will all be mapped through the third thing, that is the cost object mapping.
Exactly. Let me give you the flavor of this cost object mapping.
No problem.
So
I don't want you to digress. Okay, you continue with your sequence.
No problem. It will just give you the idea. So since you asked this, you can see these are the different kinds of orders.
Right.
Internal orders, maintenance orders, product cost collectors, process orders, production orders, and QM orders.
Okay.
I think WBS should come here. Let's see. WBS should be in the cost key mapping itself. So if I go to key mapping, yeah. maybe yeah, I can do here also. This will open in BRF Plus application, which is browser based. So here, if you see WBS, yeah, you can see here WBS element.
Okay.
So only maybe you need to remember this. What are the 5-6 components which are provided under cost object mapping? So it is very small list: internal order, plant maintenance order, product cost collector, process order, production order, and QM order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the only 6 objects which can be mapped via cost object mapping.
So okay, got you. So and all the entries on that also will automatically be mapped. When we say map this, map the particular cost object, all the
Right.
underlying entries from the source system also will be mapped here, right?
Yes, yes.
Because
This
those are going to be primarily, a lot of them on the production order or internal order, not internal order so much, but just say for an example, production order, activity confirmations, etc. Those are only CO postings.
right.
Okay,
So
got you.
normally what happens is, if the internal order or the production order has a very short life, then we don't want to create 1:1. We can create one single product cost collector which will take the values from all the production orders. So which means in my central finance system, I don't unnecessarily want to see everything
Okay,
production orders. I can just collect all the production orders information in one single product cost collector itself. That is again,
got you.
there is no such hard and
Or
fast rule.
one production order itself.
That is also fine. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Vikram, this will be again consulting activity, or this will be a business activity
This
for
one
the
is,
subject, for the
this
cost subject?
configuration is the consultant activity, but when it comes to the mapping, because you will be, again, it totally depends, because if you are using MDG, then what will happen is, whenever you are creating a new internal order or whenever you are creating a new QM order, it will flow via MDG and it will automatically do the mapping. So even it is not a config, not even the end user activity, but it totally depends upon what is your deployment option, whether MDG is in place or not. Based on that, it will be taken the decision.
So assume that I have this system. So would that require the transport or no? This right now in this when I'm
require the transport. This will require
got
the
it.
transport. Right. But we will see later on, we will see some scenarios in which I'll show you how MDG will come into the play here and how it will save the time consuming activity to do these mappings. Okay, so at least now I think it's got clear that what are these 3 types of mapping and how it can be done. Yeah, sorry.
This program doesn't have any validation, like it doesn't check that company code in the target and source system are in symmetrical nature. Like
No, no.
for example, for instance, like company code currency of the source system and the target system should be same, isn't it? Or something like that.
No, I don't think so. That will provide you that much details. That error will come during the error accounting, error suspense, what we discussed now, error correction and suspense accounting. So that will appear in the AIF monitor. If you want, we can try.
That's a big lacuna, right? Otherwise, how can we check?
No, that is the reason this is a consultant activity, na, Adam. So you as a consultant needs to be make sure that all the settings that you are maintaining, they are this one, sorry, they are compatible with each other. If you do some if you do some mistakes here, it will not tell you here itself, but it will not allow you to post any document. So obviously, whenever you are going to set up this, you will be first trying on your own whether the mappings are working or not. So if you are able to see the error in the AIF monitor, you will realize, okay, something is wrong with my company code mapping. So you will come here and you will change that. Let's try. So if I go to value mapping, and let's take another company code which I want to assign to this company code. So let me change this and let me try to assign this CF01 to, again, now the problem is we don't know what is the structure of this company codes, but let's try one. So let me try this 1000 if it is not already being used. Enter. See, it is not stopping you. Now, obviously, this company code may not have the same settings that we want. So if I go for PRO and if I check the company code settings, $1,000, you can see the settings are completely different. But when it comes to the posting, when the system will try to post this document in your target system, in AIF monitor, this will start showing you the errors.
Okay.
Okay, now let's continue to do the setup. Other setups which are related to the target system. Let's make our target system ready to take the values from the source system. So we have done the company code setup. Let's do the business area. Also here I'll make some changes. So we created NY there. Here I will create NY01. Okay, just wanted to provide different values so that it is not very straightforward. Or maybe if I want to show you one additional scenario, so I will say this is same. So what I'll do is in the mapping, I will just tell the system to keep the data. Keep the data means no need to perform any mapping. Whatever is coming from the source system, take it as it is, because our business areas in our source system and business areas in our target system are 1:1. So I'll tell the system that keep data. Don't go to the mappings. I'll show you. So let's say this is same. Okay, so I unnecessarily don't want to maintain the values in the mapping. So what I'll tell the system is, in my mappings again, this is also my value mapping, and this is for business area. So let me come out of this and go to, do you remember what is the code for business area? Business area into F4. Let me see if it is available in the key mapping. So no, it should be in the values itself, but I'm not able to find the corresponding. Okay, anyways, what I wanted to show you, let me give you the glimpse of what exactly you need to understand here. So this is my target system. Let me go to manage mappings, not this also. Yeah, this one. So if you remember, we discussed earlier that before you create and edit the mappings, there is one more transaction where you need to tell the system whether you want to keep the data or you want to change the data. For example, not this one. Where is that config? Settings, yeah, sorry, here. Define the mapping actions for the mapping entities. So if you remember, if I go to business area, are you able to see the business area here? Business area, GSBER. Okay, so here if I go and tell the system that I want to keep the data. Keep data means what? Whatever is coming from this source system, I want to keep as it is in my target system. So unnecessarily, I don't need to maintain the 1:1 mapping. System will automatically consider the same mappings. Right, so let's see GSBER here in our, let me come out of this. You understood this, right? What is keep data?
Yes, it's
Yes,
just
no?
like it's as is basically. Take it and then
As it is.
pass through, pass through.
It means as it is. Whatever is there in the source system will be taken as it is. When it comes to mapping obligatory, this means mapping table must contain these mappings. If the mappings are not available, then system will throw error.
So
If
this will be
mapping
very,
impossible,
I mean, this kind of a thing is very minimum, right? Because if we are, especially we are using multiple systems.
keep data you are saying, right?
Right.
Yeah. Keep data, again, this is at the system level. So if you are using multiple systems, in a particular system, if your combinations are exactly same, then you will say keep data.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, then you have mapping obligatory, which means if the mapping is not available in the table, it will straightforward give the error. If it is map if available, sorry, map if possible, this means it will check in the mapping table. If it is available, fine. If it is not available, then it will keep the data. Right? It will not give the error. It will first check if there is a mapping available. If yes, fine. If no mapping available, it will try to post the same data what is coming from the source system.
That's right.
And last one is clear data, which means I don't want to bring this data in the target system at all. So for example, I activated COPA in my source system. Okay, but in my target system, I don't want COPA. So unnecessarily, I don't want to bring those COPA related values in my target system. Or maybe functional area. I'm using classic GL accounting. I'm still using functional area in my old system. In S4HANA, I don't want to use functional area. So what I'll do is in the functional area entity, I will come and I'll tell the system clear this data. I don't want to bring this data in my target system. So that is clear data. Okay, so in case of business areas, I am keeping it as it is. So I'm saving this, which means even there is no need to do the mapping because I'm keeping the data as it is. Okay, because my codes for the business area is exactly same as what I have in my source system. Same it is in the target system also. Okay, so that is your business area. Now I will go to the global parameters, which means I need to assign the chart of account, I need to assign the field status variant, posting period variant, okay, and all other stuff. So again, I have the option, I can create all the things from scratch, but I think unnecessarily that will take more time in discussing the things that we already know. And that is the reason what I'll do is I will directly go to transaction OBY6, and instead of creating everything from scratch, I will assign the things which are already pre-delivered. So for example, if I go to company code CF03 in my case, okay, what I'll do is chart of account, I will create my own, but apart from that, like fiscal year variant, I will keep it as it is. Even the field status variant, I will keep it as it is. And posting period variant also, I will keep it as it is. Okay, or maybe if you want the posting period variant to be created on your own, then we will have to do the mappings. Okay, so let me create my own posting period variant instead of assigning the same one. So I need to create my chart of account and I need to create my posting period variant.
What about material ledger activation?
Material ledger activation is mandatory in S4HANA when you are using materials movement. When it comes to central finance, there is
It's
no
not
question of
necessary.
material.
Yeah,
Right.
correct. Good,
So
makes sense.
at the plant level, it is mandatory if you want to do any material movement, because material ledger itself is the functionality which is related to the material subledger. If you are not using material subledger at all, then there is not much concern whether you are using material ledger or not.
Okay, no, but suppose source system is using material ledger, and just like that initial scenario that I mentioned, hypothetically speaking, uh, uh, where the source system has ML active, they have actual costing and parallel valuation and actual costing, and when they are transferring when central finance gets all that particular data, it is only the finance data, and 1 year down the line they do not want they want to go full blown live on S4. So till that like the same example, lift and shift, but in this, suppose we are not getting the ML bit, but we are getting everything else, whatever that's required for the FI bit, not the logistics bit. And then later
No,
on we can do and there is going to be no goods movement obviously, but later on when we want to say after 1 year, when we want to go live or fully operational with this S4, then you will do the configuration and do a proper cutover and start off with the live system and then cut off the central finance. Does that make sense?
yeah. So again, I will come to the same discussion that we had.
Later on, okay.
Material ledger activation
Mhm.
is at the company code, at the plant level, not even company code, at the plant level.
Yes, yes,
Okay. So in
yes.
our scenario, the plants and the company codes that we are creating for our central finance company,
Mm,
right? We are not
mhm.
going to use the same for our after 1 year implementation. We will be creating a completely independent plants, completely independent company codes, which would be used for day-to-day transactions going forward. So for them, we will definitely activate the material ledger. But for this one,
Mhm.
because we are not using any plant-related movements, we can activate here also. That is not a problem. If we are creating the plants, we can activate even in the central finance system. Anyways, we are getting the postings because if the material ledger is, as you said, material ledger is active in my source system.
Yes.
If it is already active in your source system, if the actual costing is active, if the parallel valuation, parallel currency is active, that anyways you can flow those values, the costing related, the GL postings that are happening for the actual costing, the price variance, those values will automatically flow to the central finance, right? Without even carrying out these
So,
actual costing process in HANA.
so basically, good point you just made. So basically, for accurate report, I mean, this whole CFIN is for reporting purposes in a way, multiple disparate systems and in one box where it can do proper reporting and you can take advantage of group reporting. But without variance, etc., which need to flow, you're kind of leading towards activating it in even in the CFIN, correct?
No. In CFIN, I'm just moving the financial data, na? So if the financial data has already been posted in my source system, obviously that financial data will flow to my central finance system.
Correct, but
Variance will
say for
still
example,
will come, right?
your PO example that you gave, right? So the
Mhm.
PO technically the raw material purchased would have, if in the source system will have, say let's say we are doing 10 30 10 31 32, okay, so you in the source system it will have all those three postings at the GL view, correct?
Right, right.
Those
That will
different
also
currencies
flow to your.
Yeah.
that will also flow to my central finance without ML activation is what you're saying. It's not
Yes,
okay.
But
the financial
just a question
for
here.
us.
Yeah, yeah.
So Vikram, but the ML, so central fund is nothing, just a S4 system, right? And the S4 we need to activate the ML. Why we are saying,
Exactly.
I'm not understanding.
No, no,
So we
no, no,
will
no. I'm
going
not
to
saying I'll not
activate.
activate ML.
Got it.
No, Farooq, let me be clear. I'm not saying we will not activate ML. I am saying ML is mainly required for materials movement. So even if we activate ML in our central finance system, okay, obviously, if I'm using material movements, I definitely need to do it. If I'm not doing materials movement, then anyways, ML documents are not going to be generated directly in my central finance. It will flow
That's
from
right.
my source system itself.
That's right.
Oh, you know
That's
what?
correct.
You're right.
That's correct.
Actually, I missed one point. So, your 1709, 19, I mean, all your latest versions, ML is active. ML comes activated to the extent that it's only that the act. Uh, uh, you don't. What is that? Yeah, it actually comes activated for parallel currency and parallel valuation. Correct? It's only the actual
No, no,
costing
it
bit whether
doesn't
you
come.
want to have or not.
No, Nikhil.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, any version starting from 1511, SAP has made material ledger mandatory, but
Correct.
it is not coming pre-activated. First thing, you have to activate it. And again, the very important thing here is what needs to be activated. Is it SAP saying that parallel currency is mandatory, or the parallel valuation is mandatory, or the actual costing is mandatory? The answer is none of these functionalities are mandatory. Material ledger is only technically mandatory. Technically means that from the table level point of view, the data is going to be stored in AC Doc A now for material ledger documents also.
Correct.
And that is the reason, just to answer your question, there is nothing called as pre-activated. It is mandatory to activate, but only from the technical point of view, not from the functional point of view. You can do one thing. If you want more details in material ledger, I have a video in the YouTube.
Okay, I'll check that.
Yeah, so maybe okay. Anyways, I'll send you once I complete this session. I will give the link of that video. It is very well explained about the material ledger functionality in S4HANA.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
So Vikram, one more thing. I just want to make sure that I was not misunderstood your point. So you mentioned something that this central finance, eventually when we go to the regular process, we need to create the new company code. That's what you said, or I misunderstood?
That is a recommended way, because I don't want to, definitely don't want to touch your existing company code which is live. Okay, if you are doing the parallel project for implementing completely SAP S4HANA as a standalone system, then definitely you have to carry out it as a separate project.
Which is not more than a 1%, 2% chance you will be spending going with the two direction, right? Because central finance, you are building it up as a foundation for the future system, basically, most of the cases.
Right.
So you are building it. It's not like someone is also working on S4. It's the same thing. You are structuring the system. So it's kind of a methodology to deployment option kind of a thing, right? So you first bring the central finance, then later you will bring the other pieces that you need to bring in. So
no, that is fine.
So it's anyway. So I think I got it. I got your point. Thank you.
Okay, so quickly let's go to the remaining configuration. I will quickly create the chart of accounts, so which is in general ledger accounting, master data, GL accounts, preparation and edit chart of account list. So I will create CF03 here also. So my chart of account, if required, would be assigned to CF01 would be assigned to CF03. Now I want to make it a little bit complicated, and that is the reason I'm saying in my source system, my GL account numbers are 4 characters, but in my target system, my GL account length is 6 characters. Okay, and I'm saving it. Okay, so I don't know how many of you have gone through the SAP S4HANA Finance training, because there are few changes. Now, whatever configurations I will do, you will find a lot of changes in the new SAP S4HANA system compared to ECC. So if I talk about that, then we will lose our focus on central finance. So if you are not, if you are still not gone through the SAP S4HANA finance session, and if you are interested for that, you can maybe if you want to explore on your own, that is completely fine. But if you want to go for the videos, those are available with us. If you want, we can discuss on that. But I'm just telling you because unnecessarily, if I go into all those things explaining, then it will unnecessarily deviate the topic. And because I take 40 hours of training only on S4HANA Finance, so it will not make sense. Okay, so CF03, I have clicked, and let's go back. I will go to assign the company codes to the chart of accounts. So here I will go to company code CF03, CF03, right? So my chart of account is also assigned. Now let's go to the posting period variant, because I told you that I'll be creating my own. But before that, there are 2 more settings that we need to do in the chart of account itself. So here I need to create new groupings for CF03. I'm keeping same balance sheet and profit and loss. Okay, so this is my balance sheet account. and these are my profit and loss accounts. So this would be 6 characters, right? So 100000 to 299999. Okay, and profit and loss, let's say 300000 to 499999. Okay, let's save it. Last one is a retained earning account. So our chart of account is CF03 X and save it. Enter. Okay, so chart of account setup is done. Let's go to the posting period variants now. In posting period variant also there is one change compared to ECC. For that also I have a video on YouTube called as a third period interval in posting period variant. Okay, so for that let's go to the ledgers, fiscal year and posting periods. In the posting periods you need to define the variant for open posting period. So I'm creating my own variant which is CF03 CF03. Assign the variant to the company code. I will assign the variant CF03 to CF03. And last one is open and close the posting periods. So posting period variant is CF03, and here you can see the third period interval. This is something new which was not there in ECC. Okay, so as I told you, if you want more detail on this, there is a short video. I will share the links with you. You can go through that. And for some of you who already attended my S4HANA finance sessions, you must be already knowing it. Okay, so what I'll do is instead of creating from scratch, I will copy the standard one, that is 0001, and I will make the changes. Or maybe if 0001 is not available, I will copy this 1002 itself. Okay, and I'll provide my own company
you're
code,
just
which is
copying from
CF03.
you're just copying from the source to the target, basically.
Yes. Source to the target. What do you mean by source to the target? I'm just copying the values which are already available.
In the source, right? This posting
No,
period.
this is not source. This is
This
central
okay.
finance. I'm not touching anything on the source today. Everything, whatever we are doing is target.
Gotcha.
Okay, and save it. So our posting period variant is also assigned to our company code. So what is next? Next is we need to provide the document number ranges. Okay, tolerance groups, what we created yesterday in ECC. So I'll go to document. Okay, and I'll be making it a little bit complicated. I need to create multiple ledgers. Okay, so we will be doing that also. So document number ranges, I will just go here and I will copy it from some other company code. Let me try if 1710 is here. I'll copy it to CF03. Enter. Okay, so was copied. Let's go to the tolerance groups now. So I'll close this document number ranges. System became slow. Yeah, go to tolerance groups. And as I told you, the mandatory tolerance group is blank. So let's copy any one. And whenever you are working, just make sure that the amounts which are specified here are agreed with the customer, with the client. So our company code is CF03. Okay, now coming to the ledger settings. Okay, ledger settings are also completely changed compared to ECC. So I'll go to ledgers, again ledger, and you can see define settings for ledgers and currency types. It is already being used by someone else, so I have to, since we don't have time, I'll just remove this user as of now. What was that? ADF? EDCF113. Yesterday, I think we created parallel ledger in our source system, but then we are not activated for it our company code. But that is fine, because anyways, we want to see that scenario where you are not using multiple ledgers in your source system, but in your target system, you have multiple ledgers. Okay, so this is also done. Let's go to the ledger now. Maybe we can, system also is slow and we don't have much time also. So maybe we can stop here. I just wanted to ask you if you are comfortable for tomorrow also, because last week we cancelled one session. If you are available, we can take it tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll follow the normal schedule. I
I
think,
am available, but I have, it'll be 9. Yeah, I am available, but
yeah,
I don't
at
know
least we
about the
will try
others.
to
It's up
complete
to you.
this target system. Yeah. Anyone who is not comfortable tomorrow?
I'm good
Okay, I
too.
think then we can. Yeah. So let's keep it tomorrow, because we will at least be able to complete this setup, and we will see the mappings also if possible. If we are able to do this, we'll start mapping our source system to the target system, so that the next week onwards we concentrate on advanced mappings and initial load.
Just one question before we end for today. So, from
Yeah.
a GL account master data, which is going to be like a key mapping, right? The GL account numbers.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, what is recommended? Would you recommend just to identify CFIN transactions having separate uh, numbering for the GL accounts, or you will do a lift and like a lift and shift numbering, whatever that's there in the source?
No. As I told you, now lift and shift, I think you should forget completely. If it is lift and shift, then it is not a, it is just a namesake project. Okay,
Okay, so you're
so
saying
whenever you are
1,000.
doing
Okay,
yeah,
so
you have to do the data
1,000 GL
harmonization.
accounts. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm saying you have to do the data harmonizing, you have to do the cleaning of the data, whatever is there in your ECC. So based on that, again, you will not maybe doing based on that itself. You have to think what is your direction going forward. Based on that, you will be creating the GL accounts in your central finance system. Once you create those GLs in your central finance system, then you need to decide, okay, now how the values will flow. So it is possible that from source system, there are 3 GLs who are posting to one single target GL account. So instead of,
Okay,
if you have 1000 GL accounts, you may identify that, okay, out of those 200s are already marked for deletion and they are not being used. Remaining are 800. Now out of 800, we can reduce it to 500. Okay, and
okay,
what we can do is whenever a
got
posting is done in those 800 GL accounts, it will be managed by this 500 GL accounts in the
you,
target
got you,
system.
got you. So this is recommended to have separate GL numbering, but technically it is possible to have the same numbering.
Yeah, it is not recommended. If you are already good with your current number ranges, it is not necessary that you have to change it. But if you are getting the chance, definitely companies will go for harmonization.
Right. I get that point. I think yeah. Because otherwise,
For customer,
I was thinking that for reporting purpose, because this CFIN is I mean the main goal is of course to get to the more advanced S4HANA, but initial it could start with reporting for those different systems, right?
right. So for
Using group
reporting
reporting. So
also,
they would prefer to have, my understanding was they will prefer to have the same GL accounts, but if there are like 5 different systems, then yes, that mapping the target system will have to have different GL accounts. If it's a
right.
one-to-one,
Even some of the companies will prefer if we have multiple different systems where with their respective chart of accounts, there are some companies who will go for common chart of account also. So irrespective of which GL account is created in your source system, if it is coming in the target system, it should come under this GL account. Same concept as a group chart of account that we use in ECC. That
Yep.
can also be used. I'm not saying that is mandatory, but that can be used.
Got you.
Okay, then, so I will schedule the session tomorrow also, and we will complete this target system setup. And if possible, we will do some mapping also tomorrow. Okay, thank you all. Any questions
Thank you.
before we close?
No,
Vikram,
thanks.
I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, for instance, like if we all the source systems are the Unicode systems and the target system is like a non-Unicode system, like in French, German, or Chinese. So is it achievable like that, or we need to have some special thing to do?
No, in case of central finance, you don't need to worry about the technical stuff. In central, that question which you are coming to, that is actually relevant to the system conversion project. If you are doing the system conversion, then it is mandatory to go for Unicode. And I don't remember exactly, but that is a constraint, whether it should be Unicode or not. But when it comes to central finance, as we discussed, even the source system can be my non-SAP system also. So where is the question of Unicode or not Unicode?
Because all the master data will be in different languages.
No, languages even we can maintain in, okay, Unicode you mean to say from the technical side, or you would want to say something else? I'm not getting you. Unicode is a technical thing which comes in the server. But what is your question? Can you come again?
Yeah, that is like our like SAP. We have ECC systems only as the source systems, which are in English. Language is English, and the target system is maintained like for instance, it's in Europe, and then they are using like German or French, like you know. So they want to consolidate everything in German. They want to see in German, like for GL master data. The description of the GL is in German, not in English. So how can we achieve that? That's
No,
my
definitely.
question.
In that case, translations comes into the picture. And in GL account, we have the translation field, right? So based on that translations, we have to map. We will see this practical scenario for one GL if possible.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you all. Bye.
Thank you. Vikram, quick thing. Hello.
Yeah, Nitu, tell me.
Just send me that video link you were saying. And I
Yeah,
think you can purchase
maybe
some also. So do you have that?
just let me show you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Vikram.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, I lost connectivity. So are you able to see my screen, this YouTube screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yes, I can see your screen. Okay. It became very slow actually. Just give me a minute. It's not working at all.
Oh, it's very slow, huh?
Yeah. So you can just search by my name and you'll be able to see this channel.
Okay. Just say Material Ledger Gaurav Consulting, huh?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly. I think you found already.
Okay. Yeah.
This one, Material Ledger in S4HANA, and even this
Thank
one
you.
is mine. Watch this also.
Both are different.
Both are
Okay.
same. No, you
1909
can
and
go with the latest one.
okay.
This is
Thank you.
older one.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Vikram.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
Vikram, one more question. In product costing and stuff, in your sessions, you have done overhead cost management and stuff, configuration and all.
Yes. It is there.
Overhead
Even product
costing.
costing. Yes. It is there. If you want, you
Okay.
can just go through the
I'll
consulting
look.
website. You'll be able to see course content.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Vikram.
Okay.
So we are having the class tomorrow, right?
Yes. We are having the class tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Vikram, another.